All right, so I didn't exactly know how to start this video, but it will be about appreciating things in life because I feel like and I think that we could all do a little bit more appreciating of things, myself definitely included. So I didn't know how to start the video, but I figured let's just start it with my regular intro. So I'm just going to roll my regular intro and then I'll get into sort of the motivational rant slash talk slash emotional whatever journey we're going to go on in this video. But honestly, I think it's going to be a good one, so I encourage you to stay tuned. So let's roll my standard intro. And people are like, oh, you put on a character? Not really. Just when I do my videos, I get very passionate. I'm not turning on a character. It's just, I get super excited. So we're going to roll the standard intro. Let's get into it. Hey, everybody. I'm here today to tell you to appreciate everything good and bad. That's right. I would love for you to appreciate everything good and bad. That means the good and the bad. I want you to appreciate everything. One last time for the title, because I think that's exactly what I'm going to title this video. I would love for you to, and the topic of this video will be about you doing the following. I would love for you to appreciate everything, both good and bad. Once again, just for fun, I'm going to say one last time and that's it. I will be telling you to appreciate everything, good and bad. That's right. So the good and the bad, I want you to appreciate it. Now let me tell you, I said that title like 10 times. I'm sorry. This is the last video I'm filming. This is my 24th video I'm filming today. I haven't had lunch. I've only had a little bit of water. So, you know, I'm a little bit out of it. But anyways, essentially, I feel like we could all do a little bit more appreciating, and I'll tell you why. You know, I'm generally speaking a positive person. I'm generally speaking an optimistic person, but there are moments in life, many moments. You can ask my wife, you can ask my parents, my sisters, whenever I've sort of vented, they're the ones that hear it. Not my kids, but my sisters, my brother-in-laws, my best friends, my wife, my parents, they've heard me vent before. And when I vent, you know, sometimes you just gotta let it out, totally fine. But I feel unappreciative. Because I'll tell you why, just for one instance, right? You know, there was a period of time, a very short period, where in my job, I had a boss that we didn't mesh together. You know, every day was just this person just made me feel bad about myself constantly every day. I know you're thinking like, what? Yeah, honestly, it's true. Not for long. It was a very short period of time, about a year-ish. I think it ended up being about seven months-ish, something like that. Yeah, it wasn't a full year. It was about 7 months. But nonetheless, like going into work every day was just painstaking, right? And, you know, I would come home and I would vent a little bit to my wife. And then at the end of it, after a few weeks, a few months of saying the same stuff, I said, you know what? Like, at least I have a job that I can complain about, you know? Like, a lot of people would give anything to get a job and have a boss that they weren't a fan of, that they didn't mesh with. I don't want to say they didn't like, but they didn't mesh with. But I became appreciative of it. At least I have a job that I can work at, okay? Another thing that I thought of was this person that I didn't mesh well with caused me to work so much harder on my content, right? They essentially allowed me to set my retirement plan for about 3 to 4 years earlier. Just in that 7 or 8 months, I actually allowed myself to be able to plan on my retirement about 4 years earlier than originally I had thought, right? So honestly, like, that's a good deal to me. 7 months of not liking going into work, but I get to retire 4 years earlier and get to spend more time with my kids 4 years earlier. Come on, it's a great deal. And I have an appreciation for that. And I promised myself, when I retire, I'm going to write this person a letter saying, you know, in the moment, I'm going to find my way to contact them. And I'm just going to write them a nice letter saying, in the moment, I'm sorry if I didn't seem like I appreciated you, but thank you so much because you allowed me to work a lot harder, right? And I appreciate that, you know. So I have 4 young kids, right? So sometimes, not sometimes, my house is a mess all the time. The house is always a mess, you know. We went from a house that was about 2,000 square feet. It was a 1,000 square foot bungalow. So basement was 1,000 square feet, upper floor was 1,000 square feet. It's about 2,000 square feet, and we did a big upgrade. You know, things have gone very well financially. So the next house that I'm in right now, the house that we're in right now, is about 6,000 square feet. So we've essentially moved into a house that was about 3 times the size. And I thought, it's not going to be a mess. I'll tell you why. Are you kidding me? We have so much space to put everything. No, they're just more of a mess, right? We just put stuff in more places, right? So, you know, I don't really complain about that a lot. I just clean it, right? But at the end of the day, when I'm cleaning, I'm like, this is a mess. But then I say to myself, at least I have healthy kids to make a mess here, right? That venting stops a moment after I think about it, because it's like, at least I have healthy kids that are able to come here and make a mess of the house, right? So, and I make a mess too. My wife makes a mess too. We both make a mess too. But at least we have a family that can make a mess of this house, right? So immediately, I have an appreciation for that. I've learned in life to swing a situation so that I always win in one way or another. I know you've probably heard the quote, you either win or you learn, therefore you always win, something along those lines. I'm just paraphrasing it. But like, for instance, before the past, my wife's friend has asked me like hang some shelves in her house. My wife's best friend. Her husband isn't like, that handy of a person, and I'm very handy, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, so they got some shelves, and I'm like, okay, I'll hang them, and a couple other things along the way. And I actually just filmed that, so I made videos, I made content of myself hanging those shelves, right? And some of those videos did really well. Like, some of those videos are like, wow, they've earned a lot, they've gotten a lot of views, they've driven a lot of new subscribers, gotten a lot of comments and engagement, likes and thumbs up and blah, 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 So I won in that situation. Even though I used my time to do something that wasn't for my house, I won in that situation, Whenever there's a big snowfall, right? Whenever there's a big snowfall and I gotta go and shovel the driveway, we don't have a massive driveway, but it's big enough that, it takes me 25 minutes on a medium snowfall and closer to like 45 minutes to an hour on a really big snowfall. Not a huge driveway by any means, but, I could probably get it done in 10 minutes if I hustled, but, I'm trying to go easy, right? But I always appreciate that. I've learned to appreciate that because that's a free workout. I don't work out regularly anymore. I just don't really make the time for it. But that forces me to work out, right? I was gonna at one point hire a landscaping company to mow my lawn and stuff. And I said, mowing the lawn, number one, I enjoy it. I don't really have much time for it. Sometimes I'm literally mowing the lawn at like 8 p.m. outside. I don't really have time for it. But it's a free workout. So I've learned to appreciate it so much. I've never really not appreciated it, but I've learned to appreciate it. So honestly, what I've learned is that in life, you're never going to have only good situations. There's going to be bad situations that always happen, constantly. And when those bad situations occur, you got to learn to appreciate them as much as you appreciate the good situations, because there's going to be some good that comes out of it, okay? Sometimes I'm working during the day and I'm like today, like I said, today I was filming 24 videos and I got lucky that no interruptions happened, basically. So I'm like done about an hour and a half early. So I can do some other things and kind of relax before my kids get home and I go into like father mode, all night long, right? I spent so much time with my kids, literally. If they're awake and they're not at school or daycare, I'm with them. It's that simple. So yeah, literally spend basically the maximum amount of time that I can spend with them. And I appreciate that, Sometimes it's stressful, it's tiring, it's difficult, but it's so fulfilling, and I have an unimaginable appreciation for being able to spend time with my kids, A lot of people want to, but they just can't. So anyways, essentially what I'm trying to say is, if you learn to appreciate the bad things as much as you appreciate the good things, then you're going to come out on top, because every day is going to be a good day. Don't get me wrong. Some days I'm like, man, I just didn't feel it. Like last week, I was supposed to have 5 days to work on my businesses and stuff like that. And I essentially got 2 days because so many things happened. There was interruption after interruption, appointment after appointment, blah, blah, blah. So many things happened. But I learned to work a lot more efficiently that week. I didn't get as much as I wanted to done, but I definitely got, instead of getting 40% done, which is 2 of 5 days is 40%, I essentially got 80% done, right? Squeezed in some nights, some weekends like I always do, but I learned to be super efficient that week. So yeah, if you learn to appreciate the good and the bad equally, honestly, you're never gonna have a really bad day in your life. There might be times when you're like, today was hard, but I don't think I've ever said today was a bad day, in the last 20 years, honestly. I've had hard days, I've had tiring days, I've had difficult days, I've had days where I'm like, oh my gosh, that was insanity, that was chaotic, complete chaos, right? Sometimes the kids, all 4 kids are home at night, and sometimes they're all in a bad mood. One baby's crying, another baby's throwing, food across the room, the older 2 are having, they're not agreeing with each other. These days happen, right? It's chaos, but I still have an appreciation for it. I've never once in the last 20 years, I don't think, said I've had a bad day. I can say honestly, the last 7,300 days. Is that the correct math? I think so. 7,300 days, 365 times 20. I think that's correct. 7,300 days, whatever. Might be wrong. I don't even know. Yeah, I think that's correct. Anyways, this last 7,300 days have been good days for me. Honestly, it's literally, I'm not exaggerating. So yeah, it's kind of a random video. It's not really a tutorial, but more like I feel like a lot of people could use this. So honestly, if you know someone that could use this advice, just send it to them, share it with them, comment on it, just whatever, engage with it. I'd love to see what you have to say. And above all, even if you don't do anything but watch it, even if you watched only a minute of this, even if it only gets 300 views, hopefully you appreciate it. Hopefully those however many people watch it, even if it's a small number, hopefully you appreciate it. And that's one thing that I've learned to do. I used to only do videos that were likely to get a good amount of views. And now I start squeezing these kinds of videos in here and there because I feel like I need to say these things. But I feel like most importantly, even if they don't get a lot of views, the people who watch them are going to get a lot of value from them. So yeah, that is truly it. This is my last video for the day. I'm going to go have some lunch. I'm starving. I'm going to go get some water. Super dehydrated. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you liked this video, rant, explanation, appreciation video, whatever you want to call it, if you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.